What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the world according to Briggs. I am Briggs. I travel, I learn about the United States, I make videos, and occasionally I have a Jello shot or two. Why? Because they taste terrific and I'm secure in my manhood. That's why. I also get a lot of emails, which I read. One of the themes of these emails I've gotten a lot lately, over the last year at least, is what is the cheapest decent city to live in? Now that one's sort of tough because really it's an opinion. I mean, you can live in a city like Detroit and think it's decent and pay almost nothing compared to, let's say, Seattle. But is Detroit a decent city? Some might think so. Most don't. It used to be. Maybe it'll regain its shine someday. We'll see. Basically, people want to know where they can live comfortably and maybe be able to put some money away without having to worry about being murdered while checking your mailbox. Seems reasonable. So what we'll do here is we'll take a look at cities that have a good average income and a low average rent and a quality of life score that is, respectable. And then we'll sort of make an opinion. That's how we're gonna do this list. That being said, let's see who's number 10. Number 10, San Antonio, Texas. San Antonio is a great city, probably my second favorite Texas city behind Austin. San Antonio hosts more than 50 major events and festivals every single year. Most of them are family oriented, with the majority of those being focused on the area's Spanish and Mexican heritage. One of the city's nicknames is Military City, USA. That's because San Antonio is home to 4 military bases known collectively as Joint Base San Antonio. The average rent for a single family, according to a few different websites, is about $1,375. That's not terrible, especially when you consider that they do have a relatively low cost of living here. And according to the U.S. Census Bureau's American Community Survey, the average yearly income here is just under $50,000. Like I said, this is a great city with good people, and the quality of life score is 6.6 out of 10. Not a bad place to be, especially if you're a veteran. Number 9, Toledo, Ohio. Now, buckle up, everyone. I know I just said Ohio, and it's kind of on a good list, but yeah. Besides having one of the most storied minor league baseball teams, Toledo isn't a bad city. If you're driving, it's about the midway point between Cleveland and Detroit. It's by far better than either one of those places. Toledo has been losing residents since the 1970s, but not as many as some of the other Rust Belt cities. So, of course, this means there's a lower cost of living and housing. The average rent here is about $775 for a 2-bedroom house. The average income in Toledo is right about $36,000 a year. But with a low cost of living, $36,000 goes a long way. Here's the thing about Toledo. They have jobs now, but they're probably going to be getting more. They're kind of focused on the whole green energy industry, and some companies have moved there in recent years. Crime isn't terrible compared to other Ohio cities and Detroit and stuff. And like I said, the jobs are decent. Now, it's been years, but one knock they do have. Their zoo sort of blows. I forget which one it was because it was some years back, but they didn't have a major animal like lions. It's like the zoo without lions. A zoo without lions, that's like going to see a Led Zeppelin show and they don't play Stairway. The quality of life in Toledo is 6.2. Probably would have been higher if they had some freaking lions. Number 8, Nashville, Tennessee. If you love music, especially live music, move to the land of poorly maintained facial hair, Nashville, Tennessee. Now, I'm not even talking about the male population's facial hair. If you're shocked that I just said that, keep in mind, we're talking about Tennessee. The average rent on a 2-bedroom home is right about $1,000 here. Now, before you do, stop typing. We're talking about averages. Averages that were calculated by the U.S. Census Bureau. So, if your opinion is different, keep in mind, math doesn't care about your opinion. The average annual salary in Nashville is $47,110, which isn't bad when you got $1,000 rent for a 2-bedroom house. The quality of life in Nashville is 6.1 out of 10. Number 7, Huntsville, Alabama. Huntsville wasn't much of a city until the 1960s when it became a hub for NASA. These days, Huntsville is undergoing a transformation with tech companies, green energy, craft brew, and young people. Yeah. They have a lot of young people moving to Huntsville. Huntsville is the fastest growing city in Alabama, and the residents are enjoying this sort of rebirth, and they're emerging downtown. The city has still maintained its low cost of living. If you can handle the heat and humidity, which it gets plenty of, Huntsville could be what you're looking for. I got boob sweat there while I was visiting during the summer once. Back then I was in shape, not like I was a pound overweight, and I still got boob sweat. I don't even have a pair. The quality of life in Huntsville is 6.3 out of 10, which isn't bad, especially when you consider it's in Alabama. The average rent is only $1,050 for a 2-bedroom house, which again isn't bad when you factor in the average salary is $54,000 a year. Number 6, Beaverton, Oregon. Beaverton has been showing up on cities to move to lists for the last few years. It's about 15 minutes outside of downtown Portland with a fraction of the homeless, so that's good. The average rent is about $1,420, which is a tad higher than others on this list, but the average salary here is about $55,000. They have the Nike World headquarters and a few Intel campuses here, and great healthcare. Providence, Kaiser's here. It's a great place to live. Crime is low, schools are good, and it's considered one of the best cities to raise a family. Now, the downside is you might run into me at like a Dutch Bros coffee place or something, because I live on the outskirts of Beaverton. I frequent the Dutch Brothers far more often than is healthy, I'm sure. The quality of life in Beaverton is 7.1 out of 10. Not bad. Number 5, Des Moines, Iowa. If you're looking for a nice, quiet life that is relatively cheap, you have to talk about Des Moines, Iowa. If you don't know anyone that was raised in Iowa, that's from Iowa, you have missed something special. This entire state is filled with decent people. Every single one of the people I know that was Iowa born and raised are some of the best people I know, hands down. Des Moines has been drawing millennials and younger families for the last 5 or 6 years. This is home to more than 80 insurance companies, including giants like Allied Insurance and Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. The job market is thriving in Des Moines, Iowa. Data rooms, business service companies, and asset management corporations are calling Des Moines home. So, like I said, if you could work in an office, you like a quiet life, and you can get past the boredom, a lot of people consider this place boring, you need to call a real estate agent and get the ball rolling. They've only got 623,000 residents in Des Moines. The average salary here is about $51,000 a year. That's incredible considering this is dead center of the country where everything's supposed to be, cheaper and you're not getting paid as well. They're getting paid decent in Des Moines, Iowa. Their quality of life is 7.2, and the average rent in Des Moines is about $900. Like I said, Des Moines is a great place to live. Number 4, Fayetteville, Arkansas. Fayetteville, Arkansas is home to the University of Arkansas and the Clinton House Museum. Now, I don't know what the person running the Clinton House Museum thinks they got there or why they want to keep us on the internet from seeing it, but this is the Google Street View picture you get of the Clinton House Museum. They had Google blurred out from the Street View. Just because some lame ass decided this was a good idea, if I'm ever in Fayetteville again, I won't visit. It's just, I'm not going to visit. I may drive by and flip them off, but that's my own little hang up. Other than blurry pictures of where President Clinton once lived, Fayetteville is a great city. I said it before on this channel, but that whole area, northwest Arkansas, Rogers, Springdale, and Fayetteville, it's not like the rest of Arkansas. It's actually really, really nice. The average annual salary in Fayetteville is about $46,000 a year, which is great when you consider the average rent is $870. Their quality of life score is 7.5. Not a bad place to live. Number 3, Madison, Wisconsin. Madison is one of those places that I've considered moving to, even though it is the starting point for possibly the worst road trip ever known to man. Not just me, this was a horrible road trip. Back before satellite radios and phones that could plug into your car's sound system, we had CDs. This girl left all my CDs in the back window of my car in August. Somewhere around Kearney, Nebraska, it got so hot, they all warped, becoming unplayable. She felt so bad that she had done this, she figured it was a good idea to sing Madonna songs for about 3 hours for me. She sort of knew 4 songs. That was it. She kept getting to certain spots and would start humming. Madison has growing healthcare, IT, and manufacturing industries. They're booming right now. So if you're looking for a job, this is a great place to start looking. It's also the home of the University of Wisconsin at Madison. That's where I picked up that crazy girl that she had just graduated, and we headed back to California. Anyway, Madison, Wisconsin only has about 650,000 residents. It's relatively small. It's the state capital, and the average salary there is about $55,000 a year. Now, their rent is a little high. It's about $1,400 a month for a 2-bedroom house, but the quality of life in Madison is 7.6 out of 10. It's not bad. Number 2, Wichita, Kansas. Wichita has affordable housing costs and relatively high salaries for the Midwest. Actually, for just about any place, not just the Midwest. This is another city that's very similar to Des Moines, Iowa. Great people with a laid-back life. Like I said, might be considered boring to some people, but others, it's just what you're looking for. These people are very family-focused. In general, Wichita is just a nice place to live. The median household income is just under $50,000 with $49,982, and the median rent for a single-family home is $1,000. That's doable for a lot of people. I mean, doable in the sense you could live comfortably and save money for the future. It's great. Quality of life in Wichita is 7.3 out of 10. Not bad. And number 1, El Paso, Texas. That's right, Texas shows up twice on this list. They almost got 3, but Austin's a little pricey. El Paso is one of the best cities in Texas. I know most of you think it's crazy being so close to the border, but trust me, it's not as much of an issue as you've probably been led to believe. El Paso is all about big families, big close families. They all seem to know each other. They all seem to be related. Now, it does have its problems, but people and the cost of living aren't two of them. The median household income is $46,431. Median rent for a single family home is only $1,200. El Paso's rent might not be the cheapest on this list, but you'll find out low-cost groceries and dining out make up the difference. When I was stationed there, I had nothing but a good time. I was young and I was filled with hormones and fell in love every time I walked down the street in that city. It was incredible. That's a great town though. Their quality of life is 7.2 out of 10, which isn't bad. El Paso is probably one of the most inexpensive towns with a good quality of life to live right now. Alright, so that's my list. Hope you guys got some information out of it. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget all the links below. If you like what I'm doing here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.